And I was doing his yard work, his dishes, all this stuff for my apprenticeship.
Some of them made you pay for your own fucking lectures just to be the shop bitch.
That old school way of tattooing is not inclusive.
If you guys want to see the fucking old school tattoo, una persona al lado que en verdad lo apoya a uno también y que quiera salir con madre. I never had to build mine, I never had to fucking build my own needles and shit. I feel like you went through that old school process. Esa parte viendo yo, pero estoy solo, marica.
Hey, welcome to Select Tattoo Live. I'm here with Just Brand, and I'm here with Shane. Today we're going to be talking about a little bit of everything. We want to talk about the styles, upbringings. We want to know, Just Brand, how did you get started, man?
That's a really tricky question to ask, man. I mean, this industry is not easy at all to get into, you know what I mean? Like, at least for me, man, I was fucking bartending at first. You know what I mean? I was bartending and doing this shit. I didn't even know I wanted to be a tattoo artist at first, you know? And then couple friends, I used to draw on them all the time, and I said, you know what, fuck it, man. I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a shot. I went and got a tattoo in Austin, and it was a little itty bitty little shit that I got, bro. It was $150, nothing crazy. I never knew how much money you can make in this industry, right? Come back to Dallas, and they're like, yo, how much for a tattoo? I hit up one of these artists, like, hey man, I love your work, so $3,000. I was like, fuck.
What?
$3,000 a day. And I was like, yo, you know what? If I can get that good, fuck it, I can do that too, right? Got into that shit, bro. But honestly, man, this shit is not easy to jump into. People want to go ahead and get into this, bro. I went through 7 different fucking shops.
How long you been doing it so far?
I'm going for 4 years now. About 5 years.
God,
5 years. I'm already in the 4 year mark.
Dude, you're skyrocketing. Man. That's crazy. 4 years?
That 4 years, bro. And like the thing is, man, I fucking love it. You know what I mean? Like, incredible. But I think the craziest upbringing here is gonna be Shane. Shane, I want to talk to you about your fucking thing, man. I mean, we've been waiting to have you on the fucking cast, man, and like, just talk to me, man. What's up? How was your upbringing?
So I actually do get asked this a lot, and I do tell clients.
Hold on, pause. For those that don't know, this is going to be the Select Tattoo mascot, Shane the Dane. Shane the fucking Dane.
I could do like a Great Dane picture, like my call.
Motherfucker, there you go. I just gave you that.
A new Instagram name so I can make a little logo. I like that.
I want royalties on that shit. I want royalties on that, man. There you go. Fucking money. All right, talk to him, man.
And I like Great Danes, man.
The Dane. There you go. Talk to him, man.
The drain?
The Dane, man. The drain. This motherfucker is the drain. Everything spirals down the fucking drain. God damn it.
That one makes more sense, but I like his better. Okay.
Fuck. All right, go ahead, toilet. I mean, sorry, Shane. Talk to him.
Yeah. So I do get asked this a lot, and I do tell clients, and I always tell them the easy answer is I was a 16-year-old dirtbag, not a lot of family. No, I had goals and ambitions, but I didn't have a lot of guidance. I didn't know where I wanted to go in life. I knew that college really wasn't an option because none of my family went to college. I didn't have anybody to talk to with what to do, and I was a outcast at school. Like, I had a lot of friends that hung out with different cliques, but I always wanted to stand out. I always wanted to argue with teachers. I always wanted to just be different. I didn't want to fit into the social norm. Always loved tattooing. Always loved dressing different. Always loved like Marilyn Manson, Tool, all that stuff.
That's what tattoos is.
And and that was when I was coming up. Like, tattoos was for dirtbags, man. It was for like scum. And I was like, that's
what era was this?
Dude, that was like 2010.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was still coming up. There was still like more stuff going on, and it was starting to change, and it definitely changed a lot in that next 10 years. But when I was coming up, it was for scum. It was for dirtbags, and it's something that I really wanted to get into because I feel like I fit into that lifestyle. This can be for me. I can do this. I can enjoy this. I can still be my normal social outcast self. And get to do something I enjoy. And I didn't have a whole big art background, but I love doodles. When I was in class, that's all I did. Doodle in my notebook. Try to learn new stuff. Try to figure out how to do stuff off the top of my head. And I had another buddy that was really good in art that he'd show me some stuff. And that's where it all started. And I just I think I waited until I turned like 18 because I thought you had to be 18 to tattoo. So I bought like a kit off Amazon and just started tattooing friends. And I was like, I'm not really figuring it out, watching videos, stuff like that. And I was like, I have to get into shops. I need to get into a shop. And I got into my first shop around 18, 19, working in the stockyards. And I was like having to manage it myself. And my boss at the time was like, dude, if something walks in, call me. So people would walk in, want a tattoo, and I have to call him. Then they're like, oh, well, he's calling his boss. Like, we should bounce. This is weird, right? And this guy would like leave the shop. I know nothing. But he would leave the shop, go to the bar, and go fetch tattoos from the bar and send them back to me. I'm 18 years old. And I remember.
What do you mean fetch tattoos?
Like, he'd go up there and talk about tattooing to drunk people and get them to want a tattoo and send them back to me. And he would call me and be like, hey, man, I got a tattoo coming your way. I'm 18. I'm a child, bro. I don't know how to tattoo.
You're not a fucking child at 18.
you know, in comparison to what I am now, yeah, I never would have put an 18-year-old that's never never really tattooed. Because at that point, I've done some trailer park stuff, but nothing big. I had a little bit of basics, nothing crazy. This guy's supposed to be teaching me.
Right.
And he go to the bar, and I remember the most awkward thing I ever did is he sent like this 40-year-old couple, man and wife there, and she wanted an underboob tattoo. And at this point, I had never done nothing under the shirt. So I'm 18 years old. She got to take her top off. I got a tattoo. And he's like, the husband's giving me a hard time. He's like, dude, you might be charging me $80 for that tattoo, but I'm charging you $100 to rub my wife. And I'm like,
what?
Oh, weird.
Oh, man.
He's making
weird.
jokes. He's being funny.
Now it's weird.
He's being funny. But in my mind at the time, that really didn't break the ice. Like now, if they would say that, I'd be like, man, $100 to rub your wife. That's fine, bro. Like I banter with them. But back then, I was like, I'm scared. And I asked my mentor, I was like, well, I don't know how to do this tattoo. It's like small line work lettering. He's like, dude, just grab a 3 and do it. I was like,
The fuck is a 3?
Like a 3-round line.
No.
Yeah.
But at the time, you didn't have those
No,
questions.
I knew. And I was like, okay. And because I didn't want to like disappoint. And then after a few months, I found out like I went through hell. Like we went out to the stockyards and he had me like hanging signs. Dude, I almost had a heat stroke. It's like the middle of summer. I'm on a tin roof. And I remember because the thing was like a 45-degree slope. And there's a hole at the top of the roof. So the roof is flat. You go over a ledge and then you're on a 45-degree slope. And he had me with this shovel, this rotten shovel. He said, stick it in the hole, tie yourself off with a strap so I wouldn't fall. Dude, I went up there. That shovel's like about broken, all this stuff. And my buddy that I was working with at the time that I got him in, he quit, which he was smart. He kept dropping hammers and stuff off the roof. The boss is screaming and yelling at him, getting pissed off. And I go up there, I see this shovel. I set it up, I snap it in half. And he's like, did you just break my goddamn shovel? I was like, bro, it was falling apart. You want this to hold my weight. So I stick the metal part in the hole, and I'm up there with this roof and this strap drilling holes through 10 and 4x4s until I get all the way through. Dude, I'm dying. I get down, I'm about to have a heat stroke. He's like, all right, now start weed eating. I'm like, dude, really? So I start weed eating, and then I just fall. And he's like, all right, you can take a break. And I thought he was going to let me go, just let me chill. After about 15 minutes, he's like, all right, now finish weed eating so we can go home. Because at the time, I was staying with him.
Dude,
I stayed with them, bro.
That's a major point, though.
I did all this stuff just so I could learn. And then when I found out I really wasn't going nowhere, he wasn't teaching me nothing. It was really bad for my career. That's when I was like, dude, I got to go. So I just left his house in the middle of the night. Like, I think he went on like a trip. And at that time, we had hired someone else. And it was like, he didn't have TVs in his home. Like, I had an alarm clock and a mattress on the floor. And I was doing his yard work, his dishes, all this stuff for my apprenticeship, dude. It's crazy. And, I just got up. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I left all the tattoo stuff. I was like, this is it. I'm not tattooing no more. I quit. And I left. I walked out and I didn't start tattooing again for a few years. And I mean, yeah, so that's like the start. That's my origin story.
Well,
it was wild.
It's so crazy. Like, there's no way to like have one story for all these people.
No, there ain't no way.
Man, there's rough upbringings, and there's people that are in leadership that shouldn't be in leadership. That kind of tell you how to become a tattoo artist, and they themselves were outcasts, outlaws, whatever.
What about
and
you, T?
Huh?
What about you?
Me?
How was your upbringing, man?
It was kind of like that, man. To be honest with you, man, I got started in my dad's a barber, so I used to walk to the barber shop and get my hair cut. And every time I would get my hair cut, I'd be sitting there for a while because my dad's trying to make money.
Right.
So while I'm there, man, I'm drawing pictures and I'm trying to, just like kill time, really. But I'm drawing pictures, and there's only one tattoo shop in town, and I'm not thinking about it. There's only one. And so I'm drawing the pictures for these people, and they're getting these tattooed.
What?
And like over time, dude, I mean, year after year, this guy's like, man, who is this guy that's like drawing all these pictures that I'm getting tattooed? So he invites me to come up, and I go up and I just start working there and drawing the tattoos for the people that come in, like walk-in type stuff, So it ended up being like a thing. But man, dude, he was rough. Super rough, super similar to him, man. It's like this guy is like had one leg, he lost his leg in a
What the fuck?
He was super weird. Like the one leg is not the weird part.
That's a pirate, man.
Bruh, he had one leg and he skinned his leg. He had a taxidermist friend that skinned his leg and put it in the wall and framed it. And it had hair on it, it had tattoos on it, and it was right above his station.
Okay.
Peter Buell, shout out to Peter Buell's.
I want to say though, like this guy, like when I say I would learn it, like he wasn't a good artist. Like he was probably a good artist back in the day, but he got so hard off on pills and his life was miserable. And he was infamous all through the town I grew up in and in Fort Worth. Everybody knew him. Like he had made a name for himself, a big name. And not in a good way. Like, he used to be good, and then something happened in his life, because I was going through his old pictures, and I saw that he used to have happy family photos, all this stuff, and then something happened where, like, his kids hate him, like, all this shit happened. And then he got real hard off on pills, dude, like, where to the point, like, where I would try to draw and do shit, but he wasn't for it. He just wanted me to do his stencils, and, like, a lady came in that he had several artists do this drawing for, and I remember it because it's a seashell anklet, and she just kept saying, these are ugly, and he told me, he's like, don't fuck with her. She's come in so many times. I'm tired of wasting my time with her. She never gets anything drawn. I sat there and talked to her for 2.5 to 3 hours. After I got done talking to her, he cussed me out for about an hour and a half straight, telling me I'm wasting his time. I'm wasting my time. She's never going to come back and get tattooed. But I ignored him, and I was like, I'm going to try, dude. I'm going to try. And so in my time, I just drew up her little seashell anklet. She came back a couple weeks later. She's like, that's it. That's the one. Tattooed her that day. And he's like, well, all right.
See, I feel like,
He's
out
like,
of
I
all
was
of these
wrong.
stories, man, out of all these origin stories, I had the fucking easiest one. I promise you, I had the easiest one. Like, I'm not saying that my whole journey there was easy, the whole learning, part, but I never had anything like y'all. As far as, like, I didn't have no motherfucker one-legged pirates walking around. I didn't have motherfuckers, like, asking me to wash their cars, start weeding here and there, start digging graves type shit. I never had any of that. Sure, I went through a couple shops trying to get into one. I think that was the hardest part for me, is trying to find myself in there. Every shop that I went to, they were like, yo, you need more experience. Motherfucker, how am I supposed to get it if nobody gives it to me? You know what I mean? I just need a shot. That's all I need. 7 of them said no. Then I walk into the last one, which it wasn't my first option. I will say, I'm sorry about that. I'm going to have to go ahead and put you out there. It wasn't my last option or my first. It was just an option that I was left with, which was inside a mall.
Yeah,
I mean, I was like, inside a fucking mall. What
which
the hell
is
is
just as
this,
good
right?
though. I mean, you're just trying to start
it's just different
out,
though. It's just different. And the mall wasn't like fucking top tier either. It was just a fucking, one of the old forgotten ones. But I was
the
like, whatever.
walk-ins were crazy though in the mall.
You would think, right? So get there. I walk in and there's a fucking dude way out in the back, right? Just head down and everything. And we're like, yo, hello, excuse me. Lifts up his head, man. This motherfucker was tattooing the palm of his own hand.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the palm of his own hand. Pull up, and then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, what's going on, man? I show him some of the work that I had done, and he was like, you know what, fuck it, man. We'll give you a shot, man.
How many tattoos did you have when you started?
I had a good amount of like 20-some. But they were little.
Oh man, so you were familiar with the whole thing.
Oh yeah,
I
went through the whole YouTube school, man.
I'm picturing like you don't know anything about tattooing. You know what I mean?
No. So as far as tattooing went, I knew my stuff because of YouTube. All the YouTube stuff. That's all I did is like YouTube. As far as whenever I got to the point that couldn't find or learn anything else off YouTube, that's when I was like, you know what, I need to go to a shop. I need to get that shit done. You know what I mean? So that's where I ended up going to a shop and trying to find my way through that. But yeah, I mean, as far as what y'all's experience and what I experienced is completely night and day.
It's super amazing, man, because you can have a person that's coming from a bad background, and then you can have some people that come from a background that's a little different. But when I was listening to yours, man, it's crazy. How did you overcome that?
So that's what I was going to fill in real quick, because I also hit a similar thing. So like I said, 2010, I was like, this ain't working. I can't do this. And I always had the drive. Like, I never wanted to tattoo like crap. I never wanted to. Like, I really didn't like tattooing out of trailer parks. I would only try to stick to stuff that I knew or stuff that I thought I could get better at. And the only reason I did it was because so many shops said I didn't have enough experience. I'm like, well, what the fuck am I supposed to do?
Right.
So I kept trying to do like some little stuff here and there. And I used YouTube, but back then YouTube really didn't have that much of a reference. Like, I think the kit that I bought had like a DVD. And he was like 90-degree angles, all this stuff, and like super basic stuff. And I try to use it as best as possible. And then it was like around 2014 or something like that. I tried to go to, I ain't going to say the name of the shop, but I tried to go there. Really good shop. Loved the people. They had like a really solid traditional artist, and I loved it. And I called them first. And they're like, yeah, just bring your portfolio. I said, I don't want to bring my portfolio because I don't want to tattoo. I don't want to walk in here and tattoo. I don't want y'all putting me on tattoos because I don't know how to tattoo.
Well, that's where you fucked up.
No, it's not, because I needed to learn. In my mind, I was like, I had whatever. Anyway, I wanted to learn proper tattooing before I touched any more skin. And they said, okay, that's cool. Bring your drawings. So I go in there, I talk to the owner, and I bring him the drawings. And he's
hold on before I know. I'm sorry, not to interrupt, man, but so you have like such a strong passion and like a moral compass on how you wanted to approach tattooing. Right. I thought that was super important, because a lot of people go into it and they think it's a cool job and they like to draw or whatever, but they're not really focused or passionate about it. When you started out, you went into it knowing there's a certain way that I want to learn.
Correct. I want to do it the right way.
What do you think that's that comes from, because you could have easily went in there and be like, man, I just like money and I like
feel
to
like
draw.
it's having a conscience. You don't want to hurt people. You don't want to mess people up. You understand that this is permanent, and you come in there knowing it's permanent. And so when I got to that shop, I told him outright, I was like, hey, man, I called this lady. She said that y'all could use an apprentice. Here's the drawings. And he's like, well, I want to see your tattoo pictures. And I said, no, man, I'm not showing none of them because I don't want to tattoo. I don't want to do your walk-ins. I don't want to do all that. I want to learn to tattoo. I've done some stuff. I know a little bit of stuff, but I want to fine-tune that. I want to get better at that, get my basics down, and then start tattooing. He's like, well, I can't use you. I need someone that can tattoo. I was like, how the fuck do you come in here off the street and you just hire someone? Like, what? How does that work? Because in my mind, you don't even touch a tattoo machine for like the first 6 months or something of an apprenticeship. You go in there, you clean, you be shop bitch, and
That's
you learn
usually how it
tattooing
goes,
as
yeah.
it goes. But in Texas, and getting to that point, every other shop I went to said they wanted $5,000 cash up front. And
What the fuck is that?
I called some shops in Florida because I had kids, man. If I didn't have the kids, I probably would have left and went to Florida. But Florida's like, dude, we do traditional apprenticeships. You come in, you be shop bitch.
God damn it, we would have
After
loved
you're-
you in Florida.
After you get done with your shop bitch work for like the first year or so, then you start paying your apprenticeship wages by having a lesser percentage while you're doing your apprenticeship tattoos. I was like, that's how it's supposed to be. So every officer I had was $5,000 up front, or I needed to come into the shop tattooing. I was like, how do you hire a scratcher off the street to start tattooing? That's crazy to me. But I walked down the street. I went right next door down the
hold
street
on,
to
let
another
me pause
shop.
right there. Let me pause you right there. Whenever it comes to the whole industry, right? For those that don't know, this is because this is going to be the behind the scenes for those, right? In this industry, people think that, you know, I've gotten the question asked before. Do you go to school for this? You know, do you take a course for this? Do you know? No. This shit is dark and gritty. It used to be dark and gritty, right? Like you said, they used to fucking make you do this. They used to make you pay. Some of them made you pay for your own fucking lectures just to be the shop bitch.
Yeah.
Hey, come in here, bust this, clean this, do this, go run these errands, go fucking get this done. That's how it used to be, and that's how the culture was back in the day.
Well, and that's why I didn't mind weeding the home dude's yard. I didn't mind going to his house and cleaning his dishes. I really didn't care because it was a part of my apprenticeship, but I wasn't learning, and I knew I couldn't learn from him. I didn't mind sacrificing that part of my life to gain a good skill, but he wasn't going to give me that, and I knew that. But like I said, I went right down the street to the next shop, walked in, and I met a guy. I'm not naming him, Kevin Cooper. He kind of got me started and actually showed me what I said. I don't mind naming him. He's a good guy.
Okay,
Like,
my bad.
I still talk to him today.
He said, "Let me fucking throw this man under the bus real quick."
No, I still talk to him today. But I walked in there. I told him the same thing, and he's like, "Yeah, man, let's get you going." He's like,
Right.
now he did tell me, he's like, I'm not going to be at this shop for very long, so I'd like to get you tattooing and you can just take my spot. I was like, bet, whatever, but I don't want to tattoo. I just want you to teach me. So, but he taught me some good basics and stuff, and then he had a really kind of harsh falling out with the shop he was at, so I ended up getting kind of kicked out early, but he put a good taste in my mouth. That sounds weird.
No, hold on.
That sounds weird.
Hold on, we gotta go back. We gotta go back and talk that a little bit more, man. You can't be saying shit like that. Pause.
I'm sorry, Kevin.
Come on.
He
Terrence,
showed me.
Terrence, we locked eyes. Like, hold on, what this man say right now? Like, hold on.
showed me there was
Emergency pause right now, son.
He showed me that there was a good side and that there is a chance that I can do this. So then that put the drive back into me to go find another shop. And I did get lucky at the shop I apprenticed at. I found out that the lady actually grew up with some family of mine. So that got my foot in the door there, and that's where I stuck it out for like a year or so.
And that
there,
white
and then
community
kinda just- and
tight,
just kept
bro.
going,
I'm telling you, everybody related their cousins and everything,
Tight,
huh?
white.
But it took it took that one break, finding that one person to get my foot in the door that actually gave me a good Now, I'll still shop bitch. I'll still walk in 2 blocks to go to the gas station and go get them drinks and doing whatever. But I walked in the door. What do I need to do today? He's like, I'm hungry. I'm like, all right, let me go get you some food, man. I got you. I paid for it, whatever. It didn't matter. I did whatever it took. But that was how it was supposed to be.
Right.
Vacuum, clean, deal with customers, go get their food, go get their drinks, go do everything that they ask for to make sure that they're happy. They want me there. I had to make sure that I could prove that I'm not just sitting there on my ass. Like, I'm doing shit, whether it's I'm making the money or I'm not making the money, whatever. I had to do something to make sure that they're happy. They like me being there, even if it's not tattoo related.
Yeah, but see,
And I
that's
like
the
that.
old
I
school way, though.
enjoyed
That's the old school way, though.
I felt
Now-
productive.
but nowadays, there are some, apprentices who go through this and they don't get all this shit. They don't get all that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that we need to. I'm not saying we need to fucking go stick their head in the dirt kind of thing. You know what I mean? But we do have to go ahead and still give them a little bit of that, the toughness test.
There's no
You know
way
what I
to
mean?
teach someone to be that way,
Look,
man.
Look, I'm not gonna name any names. The second shop that I'm at right now, right? There used to be somebody here, man. We could not tell them something without them, feeling a little bit of like anxiety, a little bit of this. No, I'm not saying this doesn't, this isn't like a thing. I know anxiety and depression are a thing here and there, right? But man, this is a fucking tough industry because you're putting permanent art on permanent skin, bro. You know what I mean? Like, this shit is gonna be there for life, right? So there is a very big amount of pressure every single time I hold this fucking machine to your skin. So I need to test you and make sure you're not gonna fucking break. That was the old school way. Now, I'm not saying that we should still do that to where you're like, hey, run this and go fucking wash my car, run this. No. But there still needs to be a fucking test. Like, hey, we gotta make sure that everybody can be done.
I'm just saying that there should be an attitude towards the community as far as who you're tattooing. There should be an attitude towards them.
This is a culture, man.
You are the doctor, you are the chef, you are the whatever,
right,
you know?
Right.
You are the person that knows better than them. So there should be some things that you should be completely confident on. There should be no difference in opinion on that. And they should know more than you, even though they have YouTube,
right?
They have Ink Masters, whatever, you know? No. There should be a certain attitude that you have towards them that's a loving attitude, is what I'm saying. There's a loving attitude that you have towards the people that you do your art towards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying.
No, I agree on that part. But when it comes to the apprentices and all this stuff, and like you said, the culture, right? You have to go through these set of fucking rules and guidelines. You have to jump through these hoops in order to get to where you need to be, right? Because every profession, bro, is gonna have them. So to all the people that want to jump into this industry and like, you know, want to, you know, maybe tattoo, because this is a fucking awesome job. I fucking love what I do, man. I love getting to meet people every single day, different people, seeing different ideas, you know, conversating, seeing what's up, leaving the reoccurring clients, seeing what's up with their life. Like, man, interacting in that part, man, is my fucking favorite thing. Yeah, it is. I said before that I did this because there was an artist here who said, I'll charge you 3 racks, per session. And I said, yo, I want to make that kind of bread, right? Well, man, after fucking jumping into this industry and doing this shit for about 6-7 months and like having so much fun, it was like, yo, I love this. I don't think I can do this shit for the money like that. I don't think the $3,000-$4,000 mark is where I want to hit, but I will say that this shit, I love it. So whenever it comes to doing this, man, you got to do it because you have a passion.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
And just
so I want to touch on to the
hold on before just,
we
I know for sure, without a doubt. I'm just saying before we get off that subject, the $3,000-$4,000 mark. What are you giving them? Do they ever think about that? Yeah, for sure. You're asking them to pay you that because you're that good.
Right.
But do you ever think about, and I'm saying just the artists out there that are charging that, what are you giving back? Are you giving them, do you make sure that you give them proper instruction? Do you give them water?
I mean, you have to.
You should have some water for them.
Not only that, bro,
snacks.
you have to, though.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you should consider what they're paying for. You know, and not just your skill level.
No, this is a shop. It has 3 or 4 different shops all around DFW. Or, I'm sorry, United States. This shop charges $2,500. You know, medium sessions, right? They fucking feed you. They bring you lunch,
which is perfect,
snacks and everything.
But there's some people that want $3,000.
But I don't think that needs to be done. I don't think that needs to be done. I feel like sure, it is an extra thing that you provide for them. But you're paying not because of the extra amenities that come with it. You're paying for the art, man.
I got you.
You're paying for the art. You're paying for the artist sitting there for 8 hours and being very meticulous with everything he does. You know what I mean?
True.
That's what I think.
True.
The whole industry, like, you know, some of those that pay people, they're like, oh, I don't want to fucking pay that much. You don't have to. You can go down the street and fucking go to Shane and fucking he'll charge you a fucking, you know, Tic Tac and a fucking piece of gum for it, you know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying?
It's some roots. But I do want to circle back to the apprentice thing that we're talking about, and like this.
You still in the apprentice shit?
Yeah, because I believe this is important because especially nowadays, like everyone's, I don't want to get abused to be a tattoo artist. The abuse actually has a positive thing.
No, it does.
Being screamed and yelled at, and I talked to a guy that he did a special forces training and stuff in the military, and I hate comparing it to this, but I was like, why do Marines get screamed at? Like, why do they get yelled at? Why do they have to go through all that shit? It's so they can think under pressure. They're not going to get broken mentally. So when you're getting screamed at as an apprentice, being yelled at in your face, it helps you to where when you fuck up, because you're going to fuck up at least once, you don't lose your shit and blow your cool in the middle of a tattoo. You keep your composure and you get through it, because what you're doing is permanent, and fucking someone up can fuck you up mentally and freak you the fuck out. And I had a lady that was super difficult that didn't take anything when I was being an apprentice, and she said that she knew the shop owner, and she was like best friends, and so I was being really careful, but she kept moving, like she had her arm on an armrest, and every time one of the other artists would walk by, she'd jerk and turn around and pull her wrist, and I'm like freaking out. I'm sweating because she knows the owner and all this shit, and I know it's trash, dude. I'm doing a terrible job, but I know it's because she's moving. So I was like, dude, I wiped it. She looked at it and she was pissed, and I was like, that's what I said. I said we need to take a break. because I've already told her 5 times at this point to stop moving. I was like, we need to take a break. Well, I go take a break, and I talked to the owner. I was like, dude, this lady that's your friend over here just won't quit fucking moving. She's like, I don't know that woman.
What the fuck?
She was at my wedding, but I don't really know her. So I come back from the break, and she comes back in, and she's like, all right, listen. I was like, no, stop. Right there. Stop. I have told you 5 times to stop moving. I know how to do my job, but I cannot do my job if you don't listen to me. And this is how I told her, because I've asked nicely 5 times. I had to be a dick. And luckily, I was trained by the biggest asshole I've ever met in the industry. And he treated me like shit on a daily basis. So I was able to sit down with no feelings about it. Like, you need to stop fucking moving.
The only pressure
I was
came
like,
because of who you thought she was.
Right, but if you need to, you won't stop. And you won't take me seriously because you think I'm an apprentice. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I know what I'm doing. This can be fixed. This can be done right, but you need to listen. And that's where all that asshole shit comes in. If you're a scared, anxious little fucking puppy, how the fuck are you going to talk to your client and tell your client what you need them to do and give them proper instructions?
That's another part of tattooing that's super important, is like being confident enough to know what the moment is.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
To kind of, you can cuddle some people, you know what I'm saying, and try to like figure out.
But
like,
at the end of the day, I need to be able to work on the
you
courage
have
to tell you like, yo.
Hey, it's about the tattoo at the end of the day. You have to
100%.
like conduct them a certain way.
Do I want to hurt your feelings, or do you want to give you a fucking crazy ass tattoo?
Exactly.
And
Some
a
of that
lot
stuff,
of them asshole
you have to
tattoo
be.
artists, they don't start out as assholes. Their apprenticeship turns them into assholes.
That's why
they
it's
creating assholes because they need
dude,
strong-willed people to
it's-
put this shit on your body. You need
without
a
a doubt.
strong-willed person. You don't want a scared person. You want someone that comes in that's super confident. They don't have to be a dick
But
to
that's
you.
getting phased out. That's getting phased out because there's some people that are like overly confident and they become off as arrogant, you know? And then there's some people that know exactly, hey, I need to be in control of this situation in order to have this. And then
And you need that mild undertone of asshole.
exactly. That's
Mild
exactly what
undertone.
I'm
You don't need to
saying.
walk in and be like, hey, that tattoo's fucking dumber than shit. Let me draw you something cool. It's just like,
I
hey,
don't know.
no, okay,
I don't know.
Okay, hold on. No. Wait a minute. You know, I don't
Unwise.
think it needs to be the proper word isn't you have to be an asshole, buddy.
No,
you have
what
to,
I'm saying is you don't have to.
So it's about being.
That's a bad word, man.
Not only is it a bad word, kids don't say it. Not only is it a bad word, I say it all the fucking time. Look, I just said a. Never mind. The word is you have to have a little bit of that confidence and that fucking like rock star energy, a little bit.
Yeah.
Don't be a complete rock star where you think that everything you touch turns to gold. But you need to be able to say, you know what? Hey, look, like Shane said, I know how to fucking do my job. I need you to work with me in order to go ahead and get shit done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So this
that's
industry.
that asshole undertone.
Exactly, but this and what you were saying, the apprentices back in the day, bro. Nowadays, you see them, they're assholes, right? Because
Yes.
all the shit that they went through, right? Now, I'm not saying that was the culture. That people that used to see the culture back, at least for me, used to see it back in the day, bro. That's what I saw. That's what I thought tattoo artists were like. Oh, bunch of fucking gangbangers, fucking bikers and shit like that. That's what I thought, right?
Yeah.
Well, now, bro, you see some of these fucking different styles on them that everybody has a tattoo. You know what I mean? Like, bro, my own fucking mother has a tattoo. Small one, bro. She's old school Mexican. Sorry, mom. I didn't know if you were keeping that a secret. I'm just going to go ahead and put it out there for the world. But she has a small little itty bitty tattoo. You know what I mean? But it's for everybody. This is a art. This is something different
Yes.
now, man. It changed. And that's another topic is like evolution in this industry, man.
Yeah.
We from where we started to where we are now is completely night and day. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's a good thing because this industry is not no more of a.
It's a
oh,
gorgeous
shit, you
thing.
look like a gangbanger. You got even though I can get face tattoos or whatever. Now it's a culture thing. Now it's different. You know what I mean?
It's amazing because for all those people that are so traditional, hardcore tradition, and they have to have a certain way, even down to the apprenticeship, like you're not considering what the future of it could be.
Right.
That old school way of tattooing is not inclusive. It doesn't include Mexicans. It doesn't include certain other people.
It's a culture.
It's a culture. So can we progress this? Can we take this thing that you set us up for? It's a gorgeous thing. It's amazing in every aspect. It welcomes every ethnicity,
There you go,
every
you got it.
craft. Yeah. It includes everyone. So
Yeah.
why can't we just be comfortable enough to where we don't make it our own thing and we just say it's a future thing?
Right.
We embrace it as a craft and we welcome anybody that wants to be a part of it.
Right.
And then we make it so to where it's inclusive. Don't be so traditional to where you exclude people. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
Yep.
not what this is about.
Yep. Whenever you're accepting an apprentice or you making this, don't make it about like, look, I'm gonna make whoever can pay me for it, whoever I think is worth my
Yeah,
time.
man.
No. It's the ones that show the fucking most, the most drive, the ones that really want it. You know, I feel like. As for me, I don't have, I'm young into this. I'm only 4 years in, going for my 5th year. I don't think an apprentice, under me yet is anything, I see, right? I want to get to a higher point in my craft. But by the time, whenever that time comes, because I don't want to fucking just not pass on what I've learned, right? But when the time comes for me to choose somebody, I don't want to go ahead and just be like, who's gonna pay me the most, or no. It's whoever I deem fit that, hey, they're gonna work their ass off and put what I learned and then take it to the next level.
Exactly.
That's
so
what I see.
That,
yeah.
We had an old apprentice at the old shop, Ashley.
Come on.
Our goal was to break that girl as fast as possible. For one, because
that's old school
now,
culture,
hang on a minute, because this is old school.
Okay.
So, and we worked in an old school
Right.
shop. This guy had been tattooing since like the 80s, man.
Okay.
And he had to, and he told us, like, women in the industry back then got a lot of shit because everybody assumed that they got there for sexual reasons instead of actual skill-based reasons. So they had to work pretty hard and they had to have really tough skin. So when the men in the industry talk shit on them, they could hold their own.
Right.
We tried to break this girl, man. It wasn't about money. We didn't give a shit how much money she made. Our goal was to try to break her down or get her to make it. We wanted her to make it. Mm-hmm. Our intention was to not throw her out, but we wanted to make sure that it was difficult. We wanted to make sure that it was hard, that if she got there, that she really fucking got there and she earned it and she stuck with it. And there's so many times she's like, dude, y'all sent me home crying like every day. I was like, but you're still here. And now you're an artist. Now you're full-fledged. Now you're doing your own thing. You have full confidence. You're running with it. You're good, man. Like, you're golden. And I don't do that now, but I still have the same mentality, like, make it or break it, man. You get 6 months. You're either going to make it or break it. After that 6 months, then we can decide if you're actually going to continue on this path.
Right.
But that first 6 months is going to be tough as shit.
But it needs to be because this is a permanent thing that you're doing to somebody. You know what I mean? Exactly. There needs to be some weight behind everything we teach you. You know what I mean? And I think that's just the culture here. That's how it needs to be, man. I think anything that you jump into that is permanent, life changing, needs to have some weight behind it. And if you cannot handle the weight, get the fuck out. Exactly. You know what I mean? It's not for you. If
that's
you're gonna
the
do
only
this,
way to know if you really like it.
Right.
It's like them down there on the floor crying. Why is me scrubbing the tile with a toothbrush so serious? Why are you screaming at me? Cause, dude, I mean, when you're
it
putting
doesn't
small
have to be
lines,
that extreme.
Exactly what I was saying. It does not have to be that extreme.
It's just an analogy. But when you're putting small lines on the skin and you do this, and you freak the fuck out, you need to know how to fix that.
Right now.
You need to know how to fix that. You need to know how to undo that. You need to know how to.
So one thing that Shane did say back in the day, man, whenever like apprentices were running and like what's it called, writing on paper on the table, and somebody came in and bumped the fuck out of them, used to be like, you're annoying the fuck out of me, like, stop doing that shit, right?
Yeah.
Well, now when clients jump, immediate reaction is everything we're gonna teach you is gonna have a fucking purpose.
That's pretty good. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, it's gonna have a purpose.
And that's what I told him. Every fucking little thing that your mentor does should usually have a reason for it. Like, my mentor went back there and threw alcohol on the table and lit it on fire when I was drawing. I was like, I don't know what this is teaching me.
That's funny.
But thanks,
That's
and like, I'd get up and run because the whole table's on fire, and he'd put it out real fast.
All right. Well, you see that like, as you see, Shane has so many fucking stories. This is just the tip of the fucking iceberg when it comes to Shane.
But nothing really freaks you out anymore.
Shane, the Dane mascot, motherfucker.
This is not your everyday.
Exactly. Yeah. So you guys got a little preview.
I remember you telling me that they used to hit the table.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, now what do you do?
Exactly.
Yeah. Pull away. You're ready.
This right here. This is all the upbringings right here, man. No, we're gonna give you guys all the fucking back screen. Everything behind the scenes is gonna be just this. The fucking just shit talking about everything we go through. And trust me, Shane has so many more stories. Terrence, we haven't even fucking gotten into that fucking motherfucker. Humpty Dumpty over there gonna crack tomorrow. But you know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna be doing this shit. No, shut up. All right. But leave everything else for the next fucking episode. I promise you guys. Like I said, this has been behind the scenes on our upbringing. I mean, we would love to hear what you guys have to say. If you guys, any artists watching this, fucking leave a comment down below, man. We're going to bring out stories. We're going to go ahead and talk about all these crazy stories. I'm telling you, Shane, Terrence, myself, we got so many more, man. But once again, I appreciate you guys coming in. Thank you for being here, man. Everybody out there, we'll see you guys on episode 3.
Yeah.